Hello student, in the last session we have discussed constructors in Java. We have studied that every class includes a default constructor whether we declare one or not, and we also know that constructor is used to initialize the variables which are declared in the class, and constructors are called when we create an object of a class. In today's class we will discuss constructor overloading. In the last example we have studied we have declared one constructor in the class, but it is also possible to declare more than one constructor in a single class. And when we declare more than one constructor in a single class, it is called as constructor overloading. Now let's study about constructor overloading. So let's start. As I have said, constructor overloading is a concept of having more than one constructor with different parameter list. So this is important. We have more than one constructor, but the parameter list should be different in such a way so that each constructor performs a different task. So we can have more than one constructor but with different parameters and which performs a different task. Now one example we have here, you can see we have a class demo. Inside the class demo, if you look at this, we have a constructor over here, and then we have a flat bracket open and flat bracket close, that is the body of the constructor. And this first constructor, it is taking no arguments, so this is one constructor. If you look at here, we have one more constructor. Again, the name of the constructor should be same as the class name, and we have flat bracket open and flat bracket close. But there is a difference between the first constructor and the second constructor. The difference is the second constructor is taking one argument of type string. We have one more constructor over here, that is demo. Again, it is taking one value, that is into 5. So again there is a difference between first, second and third constructor. The third constructor, if you look at, it is taking one argument like in the second constructor, but the type of argument is different. So here it is taking string, here it is taking integer. So there is a difference. We can have more than one constructor in a class, but there has to be a difference in the parameter, whether it is in the number of parameters or type of parameter, but there has to be a difference. And why we have different constructor in a class? Why to declare more than one constructor? Whenever you want to perform different tasks, you can have different constructors in the class. Okay, let us look at one example program based on constructor overloading. The concept is very simple. Constructor overloading simply means declaring more than one constructors in a same class. It is called as constructor overloading. Okay, so let's look at this example. Okay, I'll just execute and show you the output of this example program, and same time I'll explain the program as well. So let's see the execution. Okay, let me copy this code. So this is our code. I'll just open Notepad++ and I'll create a new file in this. Okay, I'll paste our code. So we have one class here, the classroom. It is having variables length and breadth. And then if you look at here, we have a constructor room, and in this room it is taking two variables as arguments, x and y of type float, and the values of x and y are assigned to variables length and breadth. So this is our first constructor. Then we have a second constructor here, which is taking a single argument. There is a difference between first and second now. First was taking two arguments, second is taking one argument of type float. And again we have assigned values to length and breadth. How we have assigned? Length is equals to breadth is equals to x. That simply means both length and breadth will have the value which is stored or the value of x. Then we have one more method. This is a method, this is not a constructor. How to identify a method? Method will not have the same name as a class, and method always has a return type, remember. So what exactly we are doing in this method? We are simply returning length into breadth. So that is the area of a room we are returning. Okay, this is one class which we have declared. We have one more class. Okay, I have copied it. Let me paste it here. Okay, this is the second class, that is rectangle area, and this is our main class as well, because we have declared main method in this class. If you look at this class, we have declared a variable area. Then at this particular point we are creating an object of classroom. So we are creating an object of classroom, and the object name is room1 is equals to new room. So this is, I said, a constructor part, and while calling a constructor we are passing two values here, 15.0f and 10.0f. So when we call a constructor, as you know, from this particular point it will go to the constructor part. But we have two constructors, then which constructor to call? Now if you look at this particular constructor, you are passing two values of float. That means while calling a constructor, it will also choose a constructor which is taking two values of type float. If you look at these two constructors, which is the constructor taking two values of float? The first constructor. It is taking two values, x and y, of type float. So when you create the first object room1, and when you call a constructor over here, it will call the first constructor and it will assign value of x to length and value of y to breadth. That means 15 will be assigned to length and 10 will be assigned to breadth. Then we are calculating area of a room by calling room1 dot rect area. So okay, this is not rect area, this is simply area. I will just make a correction over here. Okay, I'll make it rect area itself. Here the method name, instead of area I'll say rect area. Okay, rect area. That simply means from this particular point, room1 dot rect area, so it will call this rect area function, and here it will return length into breadth. So what is the length? 15. What is the breadth? 10. So it will return 15 into 10, and that we are storing in a variable called as area, and that is printed over here. Now here we have created one object. Now we are creating a second object over here, room, room2, new room, and to this constructor we are passing a single argument now. So in the earlier constructor we had passed two arguments, now we are passing a single argument. That means it will call the second constructor, that is room, and here we have assigned length and breadth to the value of x. So what is the value of x we have passed here? We have passed 15. So here both length and breadth will have the value that is 15. So this is how you can declare more than one constructor. in a class, and this is how the constructors are mapped with the constructor call. So here the first constructor has been mapped because it is taking two arguments, and here the second constructor is mapped because it is taking only one argument. And again we have called room2 dot rect area. So even here it will call rect area, and that will return length into breadth. That means the value which we have stored in length into breadth, length and breadth of room2 is 15 and 15. So it will be 15 into 15, and the same is printed. Okay, this is how we declare more than one constructor in a class, and it is called as constructor overloading. So let me save this program and let me show you the output as well. So as I've said, the name of the program should be, it is rectangle area, and the reason why we have used rectangle area, because in this particular rectangle area class we have a main method. So rectangle area dot java. So as it is capital small, you have to declare. Okay, the program has been saved. We have saved the program in F drive. So let's open the console, cmd, go to F drive, then let us compile javac. The file name is rectangle area dot java. Okay, there are some errors which have been displayed, and if you look at the errors are mostly because of copy paste, because the characters which are shown here are different. I have copied the program from from PPT, that is PowerPoint, and I have pasted it in Notepad. So some characters which are used in PowerPoint are not allowed to be used in Notepad, and that is the reason these errors are displayed. So let me remove those errors. Okay, we'll remove the errors from the first error. First error, you can see it is at line number 3, cannot find symbol, and it is showing arrow at this point, means there is something wrong in here. So float, even here it will show you symbol where it is going wrong, class float, and location it is in class room. So at line number 3, if you look at the float spelling itself, you will get to know there is something wrong with the spelling. So I'll go back to the program, I'll go to the line number 3 here. So spelling is wrong, so I'll make it float. Okay, let's look at the second error. The second error, it is line number 30, cannot find symbol, and if you look at this anchor, it is showing somewhere here in the print statement. So some characters which are different characters which are not readable characters. Again in the symbol also it is showing variable, some unreadable characters appeared in the print statement there. So it is showing. Let's go back to the program and check line number 30. So this is okay, this is our line number 30, and it was in print statement at the beginning. So this character double quotes, this double quote character from PowerPoint I have copied it. So PowerPoint double quote character is different from the Notepad's double quote characters, and that is the reason it was showing the error. Now you can see there is a difference between this double quote and this double quote. So I'll keep it like this. Even other double quotes I'll remove, and I'll add proper double quotes. Okay, so let's save the program again. Let's go back. I think we have removed the errors, so let's again check it. I'll say rectangle dot okay, so there is still one more error. It is saying possible lossy conversion from float to int. And this is because, look at the error carefully at line number 18, incompatible types, possible lossy conversion from float to int, and it is showing at line number 18, that is return statement length into breadth. That means we are trying to store a float value into integer, and that is the reason it is generating an error. Now let's go to the line number 18. So this is our line number 18. So it is a return statement, and we are trying to return length into breadth, which are float, means we are trying to return a float value, and that return value will go here. It will be stored in area, but the type of area, if you look at, it is integer, means float value is written by the function and we are storing it in integer, and that is the reason it is showing the error. So what we will do is, instead of int, we will make it as float area, and here return type also we will change it. So we will make it float. Okay. Now again we will go back and we will check our program. Okay. Let's compile it again. Okay, now you can see there is no error. Let us execute. Okay, you can see the area it is showing for the first object, that is room 1, it is showing area as 150, whereas for room 2, that is room 2, where both length and breadth we have stored as 15 and 15, it is showing area as 225. So this program, it is only to demonstrate how we can declare more than one constructor in the class and how those constructors can be called while creating objects. Okay, that's it for today's session. Thank you.